like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Janice Scurio, the co-host of the CHGO Sky Podcast. Subria, how the heck are you on this wonderful, what day? It's Monday. Yes. Oh my goodness.
I mean, look, normally I love that the show's on Mondays because that's usually when all the Twitter drama happens, and it's like a great day to have that. I'm really shocked that it's like a slow Monday, so it feels like a Monday.
It definitely does feel like a Monday. You know, I haven't had my lasagna yet. It just feels like, it is a Monday, ass Monday. Can I say ass on this podcast? I guess now I can.
Yeah, I agree. I guess good things. We have some progress. Finally have a preseason game. It's been a long and slow training camp so far, I think. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, we really haven't had too much information to go off of besides of what we know from today's preseason game. We have little bits and pieces that have been fed to us by great reporters such as James Kay, Annie Costabile, Maggie Hendricks. Yes. All of those wonderful people worked the game today, and let us know how our Sky did today. But before we get into that, let's do a little Twitter promotion. So be sure to follow the CHGO Sky Podcast at CHGO_Sky. And of course, too, if you are so apt to do so, you can follow me. My Twitter handle is Scuriosa, SCURIIOSA. And you can follow my wonderful co-host as well. Her Twitter handle is Subria Whitaker. Anyway, all three of those handles are here to provide you with the best Sky content this upcoming WNBA season. So in case you missed last episode, we had a wonderful interview with Coach Chastity Melvin and Angie Delavoye. I hope that's how you say your last name, Angie. We discussed Angie's fantastic did I say fantastic? Yes, there we go. Fantastic dissertation on activism and how that can potentially grow the WNBA fan base. So what were some of your favorite takeaways from last week's episode?
Well, one, I mean, it's not really necessarily a thought, but just the fact that there was a conversation that took place between her and Coach Melvin. And at first it seemed like there wasn't agreement between them, and I like that because I think people feel like when you're in certain groups, like say WNBA fans, it's a lot of groupthink that happens, and so right. I just really enjoyed the fact that a player is telling you this is how I feel, but also the fact that Coach Melvin is not one of the players playing right now, and just the leeway that they have gotten. I've seen multiple WNBA legends speak on the fact that they could never back when they were actually playing in the league. So I really like that, and just the idea of people being attracted to social movements, but hoping that translates into actual time spent watching the game, buying tickets, buying jerseys, actually moving the game forward, and not keeping it in the bubble of activism.
Right. While even though something that Angie brought up, that folks that are usually politically progressive have always supported the WNBA, but of course, too, that's not necessarily going to guarantee that they're going to attend games or watch games on TV. And so I can speak from my personal experience that what finally got me to come out to games was just the social aspect. Hey, my friends were like, you want to come out to the game? And of course I was like, heck yeah, I do. Will you be there? I'm definitely a who's all going to be there type person when it comes to hanging out. So yeah, of course. I think it's definitely going to be definitely more of a social aspect that grows the game and gets more butts into seats. So bring all your friends, bring your friends, and come out and see the Chicago Sky this summer. So one other cool thing that we want to welcome to the All City Sports family, the Phoenix Mercury Pod finally launched this week. Woo!
Congratulations.
Congratulations on their first show. All City now has weekly coverage of 2 WNBA teams in 2 markets. So that is pretty awesome. So thanks to All City for supporting women's sports. So you can expect us to cover and produce shows for every WNBA teams in the markets that we currently are in. So that's a tweet from CEO Brandon Spano. Anyway, we are looking forward to Corbin, Aaliyah, and Mallory's coverage. And we'll be sure to have fun banter throughout the year with them, too. So a brief reminder. So Tuesday, May 31st, the Phoenix Mercury are going to return to Chicago for a rematch at Wintrust Arena. And maybe we can have some fun and friendly wagers within the family. What do you think, Subria?
Yeah, I was already kind of planning on visiting Phoenix, because since I'll be, in LA at some point and probably Vegas. So I'm like, hey, Phoenix right there, never been, would love to visit. But now I'm going to have to look at the schedule to see if I could be there for maybe the game either before or the podcast that they tape before or after maybe the Sky play them in Phoenix, if they do. So definitely gonna have to make my way out there and to be a guest on the show.
Just act as a sleeper agent and just get in there and spread the Chicago Sky gospel.
Yes.
Right. So there was a preseason game today.
Yes, there was.
Oh, my goodness. So the Sky fell to the Wings 77-92. So a couple of questions that we had going into today. We already knew that Allie Quigley, Courtney Vandersloot, Azurá Stevens were not going to play. Essentially, we're just looking to finalize who gets those final 2 roster spots on the roster. We were very concerned with who started today's game. So I do remember that, who did start today's game? I actually did not. Oh, wait.
So I know Emma started.
That's right, yes.
And she did an amazing job.
She did. Oh, Imani started as well.
Love that for Imani. So I guess the fact that we're like, oh, who started, right? It's like there's a completely different team right now because Candace is not here. Kai's still playing overseas. Kayla Davis isn't here yet. So I think it's a lot of opportunity for these players who are fighting for their spots. Like, I'm glad that they made it here because there were teams who were waving people before they even got on the court. And it's like, okay, I just got here yesterday. Like, how are you waving me? And obviously, people get a little creative. Like the GMs, Coach Wade is a person who's always getting creative about moving people, waving people for, salary cap space. But I'm glad that they got to take the court and actually get some minutes and show what they were about. And some showed a little more than others, but go ahead and remind us of who started today.
Yeah, so Dana Evans started, Kathleen Doyle, Sparkle Taylor, Emma Meesseman, like you mentioned before, and Imani McGee Stafford. And I've brought her up in several shows that I think she has a pretty good chance of making the final roster, just mainly because, one of the big holes is that backup power forward that the Sky definitely need. Oh my goodness. So what else happened today? So essentially, you mentioned Emma Meesseman. She's definitely in mid-season form. According to James Kay, we've seen it happen at every training camp session so far, and she continued to look great today. I think she definitely started because, like we mentioned in our last show, we're kind of looking for that backup Candace, right? Kind of like that person that has all those leadership skills.
Yes.
So Annie Costabel reported that Sloot and Annie Quigley aren't playing today. And Meesseman is on the court directing young players really well.
Yes,
so I think,
saw that.
Yeah, just exhibiting all of that leadership, I think, is going to be a great sign. And of course, too, Emma played 24 points in 26 minutes, shooting 66.7%. So I think she's going to be very fun to watch coming up. And you mentioned before the show that, it's definitely important. Emma kind of has to be good.
Yes.
just mainly because, yeah, she's got a lot of expectations to live up to. So other leaders, point-wise, Annalie Maley with 9 points, the Australian most famous for her rebounding skills, and Dana Evans, 8 points, too. So she got some playing time and was able to land some buckets. The Sky social media account actually did show a really great shot of her landing a timely 3. Love that for Dana. Love that for us.
And it looks like she had the most threes, because I saw that video earlier too, and I was checking. And so she had 2. She's 2 of 5 from 3 today. So the leader, I guess, the team leader in threes. So that's a good sign.
Definitely a good sign.
And yeah, I'm looking. So like you said, Emma got a lot of minutes. I mean, a lot of people got a lot of minutes. I know we talked about Imani, and I'm looking and I'm seeing that she only has 4 rebounds. And I mean, yes, 7 points, 4 rebounds. I think Imani easily can get a double-double. Like, I don't think it's hard for her to get like 3 more points and 6 more rebounds. But I definitely think she needs to probably be more aggressive on the glass, because honestly, when I think and I hear about rebounds for the Sky, I'm thinking it's Imani who's putting in the work and getting that rebound, getting a putback. So hopefully, she is still getting into the swing of things. The fact that she was off, went to law school, and now she's back. So I'm just hoping that she can, be ready for the next game and make that be a bigger part of her game to make sure she gets that one of those roster spots.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Imani's story is just great in general. We've talked before about how she took the time off to go to law school. And is now back in the WNBA. So really happy for her. And I think, she has a really good chance of making the roster. But it is only one preseason game. And so we were talking a little bit about the show before, where I kind of said, it's preseason. Does it really matter? And you said, yes, it does matter. Can you explain, in your opinion, why you think it does matter?
Well, I mean, more so other teams than ours, just because like Atlanta got a win over Washington. And I guess it's kind of like one of those things where it's not fair, because it matters probably more if you win. To me, maybe then more if you lose. Like, okay, the Sky lost today, but we were missing XYZ, right?
Right.
And so for
our big four like barely even played.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when for Atlanta to beat Washington, I mean, a lot of people are thinking, with Atlanta coming back, that Washington, first of all, has like 20 people. So I really don't feel like they should have lost that game. Mm-hmm. Because I know 2 people on that team, and I'm always rooting for them. But I was really shocked that they lost that game. But also, I'm like, go Atlanta, because a lot of people were always hating on Atlanta from last season and were questioning everything, especially when Atlanta and Washington switched picks. So it was very interesting to see, okay, who made the right decision? Clearly, it was Atlanta. So I love that all those fresh faces got minutes and got to show what they were about. And I think that's a good sign. Like, if you can win a game with like your third string, mm-hmm. I think that's better maybe than like, now I'm actually kind of concerned about this loss. I think I changed my mind, because now that I think about it, Erica Wheeler tweeted earlier that apparently people were DMing her asking if she was hurt because she didn't play.
I saw that too. Yeah.
And she was just like, well, I'm a vet now. Coach asked if I wanted to play. And I'm like, no, let the youngins get the minutes. And that's a great thing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. And so for them to carry, I don't even really know who played, like on Washington's end. I'm not really sure, because, we had to like going deep in the depths of Twitter for any type of anything.
I got something to say about that in a bit. Yeah.
But I think it's a good sign that there's a lot of people who were making things shake for Atlanta.
Yeah, that means you got depth, and roster depth is always good to have.
Correct. And so now I'm like, well, we lost, and we did have a starter, a whole finals MVP. So now I'm like, well, Arike didn't play because she didn't even travel with the team. So I know that wasn't part of the reason. But then I think people could argue, well, then maybe maybe the team is better without Uribe in a sense, just because she's probably going to be the one taking the most shots in a game. But now I'm kind of concerned because it's just like, well, she clearly can't carry herself, and we don't expect her to. But if we have our first unit, who is going to be on that second unit if Emma's not in the first one? And we need, another general, whether it's her or Candace. Who else is going to help her? Because she clearly cannot win by herself. And I'm a little disappointed in some people's performance today.
And I'm sure we will get into that in a little bit. But one thing I want to point out is that they also wore the cursed jerseys today.
Oh, yes. I told y'all.
Yeah.
I tried to tell y'all.
The no ceiling curse continues. So please, Sky, stop wearing the blue jerseys.
And I wonder if they kind of did that on purpose. Like, I want them to wear the blue jerseys the next preseason game as well.
Just to see
if they lose,
sticks.
burn those jerseys.
Yeah. One more preseason game, you know what? It's not going to hurt any standings. It's not going to hurt any records. So perhaps one more go with the cursed jerseys, and then we can finally just beg the organization to put them out of their misery and retire them.
Well,
once and for all.
They did it anyway last year on their own. So
that's true.
So
that's
maybe
true.
I wonder if they did that on purpose. So it's like, well, if we win the next preseason game, who do we play? Indiana. Yeah, so if we win that game against Indiana in the blue jerseys, then maybe the curse has been lifted. But if they lose, they absolutely have to get rid of those jerseys.
And can you believe I actually was considering buying one? Like for a brief moment, I was like, you know what? I could probably give this a try. Well, the main reason is because that was the only one available in my size. And so I'm like, maybe I can make this work. Maybe I can single-handedly reverse the curse. But no, I feel as if that is a task that is too large for my small hands. So
I mean, I have, well, not to wear, but I have 2 of the black ones and I have 2 of the blue ones because I think before, I can't remember whose is on whose, but I know I have one color in Vandersloot and one color for Diamond. And I really cannot think of whose is whose. But then I was like, okay, I got those 2 out the way, and I'm glad I did, obviously, because of Diamond. And then I was like, well, I need Ka for sure, and I need Candace. So
Ka's a given. Candace is a given.
And got a blue Candace one because I like her. Are we going to say GIFs or GIFs?
I say gifts.
Okay, well, I say GIFs. So just a disclaimer. So people are like, what are you talking about? And so that you know what I'm talking about. But she has a lot of them, like from her intro video. And the intro video has about the blue, right? And so they're the blue ones. So I'm like,
yeah, and she's like doing this where she's
so
flexing
So I like it because it looks like shattered glass, and somebody says no ceilings. I have no clue what team says that. I'm just gonna take it for right now, but technically they shattered the glass ceiling, so I was okay with that. And I really feel like most of the videos or the great performances from Ka came in the black jersey. So that's why I made sure I got the black one. And so shout out to the Sky for sending out all those jerseys, because I ordered my Kalia Copper jersey when they dropped them, and I got it like weeks ago. And that can we clap for that, please? Because
like we need merch. Yes. Like the WNBA definitely needs merch. So sending those jerseys out and getting them in the hands of fans is like so absolutely
Yes, because a lot of people were complaining last year about like, I don't even have it. I'm supposed to be going to the game and I don't have a jersey. So shout out to them for that. And I think we're safe. The fans are safe in wearing the blue or the black jersey. But the Sky don't need to do that anymore.
The black jersey, especially, I remember the GIF. I see it in my head where Kalia is just clapping her hands, and she's that is probably one of my favorite GIFs to watch. Yes. So my friend Tyrone, he actually got the Kalia Copper jersey, and she quote tweeted him too. She was just like, "Oh well, it's about time." And after that, I was like, Tyrone, you can go ahead and quit Twitter, because this is like, you already got acknowledgement from the GOAT. Like, that's pretty much all we need. You've already won Twitter. Just hang it up. But I'm so very jealous.
Well, Kai's really good about that. And I'm not saying that, and I don't, sorry in advance if I'm like sending people now to go talk to you. But I will say that she's very good about responding to people, even DMs. Like I've DM'd her because I wanted to, our birthdays are close. So when I celebrated my birthday last year and I had brought little like bundt cakes.
Wait, when's your birthday?
September 8th.
Oh, that makes you a Virgo, right?
Yes.
Oh, earth signs represent. All right.
Yes. I mean, just a lot of the greats are Virgos.
Like Beyonce,
Michael Jackson, and Kobe.
Oh, dang. All right.
So I don't really think too many people can compete. And Ka. So I wanted to give her one of the little confetti cakes because that's her favorite. And we were supposed to meet up. I don't know what happened, but like she responded. And I was like, see, that's what it is. That's a lot of what I think is maybe missing. Because back in the day on like old WNBA Twitter, before WNBA Twitter existed, I used to talk to Renee Montgomery all the time. Like there were players who were just chilling on Twitter, and I could probably go back in my like quote tweets when we had to say RT to quote something.
I remember that. Yeah.
A Gemini is throwing a tomato at me saying boo Virgos.
Boo Virgos.
But yeah, so what do you think about the interaction from players on Twitter?
I think it's really necessary, especially if we're going to get more engagement with fans. And so, like, as someone who is very deep into sports Twitter, like every time I get acknowledgement from a player of any kind, like especially in Major League Baseball, I am just absolutely floored. I think it's absolutely cool and amazing, and just to get that recognition too. Yeah. And I can tell you right now, like Tyrone was like certainly just over the moon as soon as he got that Kalia quote tweet. Yeah. So that was very sweet of her to do. But yeah, I think social media interaction is so incredibly important. And yeah, it just kind of shows that, you know, the players care about the fans care about the players, and everyone cares about one another. I think it's really sweet.
I agree, but I think there is also a downside to social media. Like Taya, for example, Taya Cooper, number 2 on the LA Sparks. Taya is very TikTok-y. Like, she's always on social media. I mean, I've seen her tweets end up on my timeline. I know she's always on Instagram stories. And she's really nice, too. I will say she loves to take pictures. I remember I went to the Indiana game, and it was like right after she let a little girl wear her chain, and she did it again to one of the little boys that was there, sat there and signed everything. Like, people love Taya. My little cousin is going to the home opener specifically for Taya, and I hope she's not watching this. But I shout out to Power Forward. I got her the courtside seats, so she's going to be able to, and I believe it's like right by the bench. And I also bought her a Taya Cooper jersey. So hopefully, I mean, I'm sure she's going to get it signed. But all this to say, when the Sparks were losing last year because they didn't make it to the playoffs, I mean, 8 teams make it to the playoffs. So only 4 teams don't. They were one of them. And people, you know, were like, okay, TikTok and Taya, like all that time you spend on social media and you should be in the gym. I will say she got in the gym a lot. She's definitely been putting up work, definitely looking forward to seeing her game. I actually really like her game, but that's what I'm just saying of, can you be on social media too much? Like, yes, for the fans, but they assume like they don't have lives, and if you're on Twitter, then you're not in the gym. So
yeah, which is not necessarily the case. You can be in the gym and also on Twitter at the same time. Speaking of which, I see that Azurá Stevens and Kalia Copper have been interacting a lot on Twitter.
Welcome to Twitter. And I actually tweeted on the CHGO Sky page. I was like, breaking CHGO Sky forward, Azurá Stevens now on Twitter. And she thought that was funny. She's doing Twitter really well.
Yeah,
to be a newbie.
She's a really funny person too. Like her Instagram and her little Instagram dances with her dog in the background have just been like just so fun to watch.
And so I don't know if it's just the algorithm, but I really don't see too much content from Sky players on my timeline. I mean, obviously you see Candace, and again, maybe this is just me not being on their pages or whatever, but Azurá was one of those people where I couldn't tell you anything about her personality. I knew she was nice because I've had the pleasure of being in her space, like outside of the arena, but I could not tell you that she was this funny. And I think the only videos I remember were of them in the Wubble, but a lot of that was Sydney Colson. So I'm loving that I see a lot of her personality, and a lot of other videos were with Gabby. And so since she's not there, I'm glad that she's able to keep it going, and hopefully we can see more personality and social media from them and win at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely possible to do both. So we're going to jump around a little bit. So some random Sky updates. Like we mentioned before, Kayla Davis and Tina Krushnick are wrapping up things overseas in Turkey. Ruthie Hebert is also wrapping up playing in Italy. So we should expect everyone to be in training camp very, very soon. It's going to be a happy reunion.
Well, okay, so then maybe we need to fact check this. I'm going to say this ahead of time so we can know where to fact check. So fact check for the record. Can everybody be in training camp? Because isn't there a cap on training camp? And since we have so many people now, because we have so many people missing, I'm assuming when Candace comes back and Ka and Kayla next week, we're going to start seeing those cuts.
Yeah, we're probably going to see some folks getting cut. Which I think it's definitely going to be high time, because I think we had a high of 21 players, I believe, in training camp.
I lost track. I'm
sorry. At this point, I had a little spreadsheet, and then the spreadsheet just completely went crazy. But anyway, the point being, there are a lot of players in training camp. But yeah, you're probably absolutely right that we will probably start seeing all of those cuts very, very soon. So a little bit more on the social side. So the Sky showed up at the United Center to support the Bulls playoff run. We don't have to talk about the game at all, but
right, we could talk about it. I said on Twitter, so last season, Patrick Williams, yeah, was great about coming to games. Actually, super supportive.
That's true.
Because I think I said this before. Maybe his
DeMar
girlfriend
too
played for Notre Dame, and she just transferred to DePaul.
Oh,
so something to look at there. But he was there a lot. I know DeMar came once, and there was someone else. Aaliyah,
White,
you're listening. Can you tell me the other person that was always with Patrick, who was super nice?
On the Bulls? Yeah, I think it was Kobe White. Yeah.
No, it was somebody else. I want to say maybe Javante Green.
I don't know.
She'll let me know when she's looking it up. But they were there, and I think and to me it felt really genuine, like not
Javante Green.
Thank you. So not, show up to the WNBA in an orange hoodie and get an award type like some people, but they were there and it felt really genuine, but the rest of them were not. And so I said, well, maybe if more of you all had gone to more Sky games, maybe you all would have seen how it's done, and maybe you wouldn't have lost.
I was thinking the same thing, honestly. So full disclosure, I'm not a Bulls fan. A long story behind that, but
I am. I am. Love the Bulls. I really miss the Derek and Joakim era. But I'm always happy to always have a reason to yell Morgan Park for our rookie. So I will say for that, I'm going to support him as a Bulls fan. But I would be a bigger fan if they were bigger fans of the Sky. Well, shout out to them, I guess, for acknowledging them in the arena. I did see that they acknowledged them on the Jumbotron. A lot of them were there apparently, but they were sitting separately. So
they were.
Coach Wade was there, but I didn't see the picture of him. I just saw them like interacting with the CHGO Sky handle on Twitter. So that was cool.
I've got a quick roll call here thanks to the Sky Show. So Azare was there, Coach Wade, Ann Waters, Emma, Courtney and Allie, of course. Dana Evans was there too. And yeah, so that is who we have accounted for at the game. But yeah, if the Sky can show out and support the Bulls, the Bulls can certainly show out and support the Sky.
Because there's really was no reason. I mean, the seasons are not going to overlap because I don't think they're going to make it past this. So they should have plenty of free time. I really hope, like I said, to see my fave in the building. So Io, anybody listening that knows him, his mom, his siblings, let's get him to a game. I would love that. That would be cute. So I want to see more of them there because I think my first reaction when I saw the picture was actually like, wow, this is the second time that they've gone. Like, they clearly really support them. And I just would want to see more of that. And I also would like to see more of that between us and the Red Stars because I remember Diamond saying something about the game. And I think she actually was there in a suite. But I think after our playoff run, I want to say Sarah took the Red Stars to one of the playoff games. I would have just loved to see that love get shown to them because we were one game away, and I don't think the city would have been able to handle that. But I need to see more crossover content, honestly, with all the teams. I need it.
No, yeah, the women can't show everyone how it's done in this city, right?
No, they cannot. But you know what? We can show them how it's done, and that's why everybody should make sure they're tapping in with CHGO. We have podcasts and live shows on every team every day. You will start seeing more of us. And we'll have premium written content for members at allchgo.com. Just had a meeting about this. We have a lot of ideas cooking and a lot of articles coming, but you have to be a member. And you can get your free shirt when you become a member. And if not, or you want extras, like we're going to be getting very soon because I just got my CHGO Sky shirt. Of course, my co-host, you cannot take the socks out of her. So she got the sock shirt, but she's going to get a CHGO shirt.
I definitely will. Yeah. You can't take the South Side out of the girl. Well, actually, I'm back on the South Side now. So the South Side just can't get rid of me. So I'm a South Sider for life, but I will be getting that Sky shirt.
And you should get yours too. And then once you order your shirt, hop on the members only Discord, also called the CHGO Lounge. All wonderful reasons why you should make sure you're following CHGO, become a member, interact with us on Discord, and buy our merch.
All good things all around. All right, so like I mentioned before, we are certainly jumping around a little bit. So let's go ahead and go back to some of our early observations from training camp and just today's preseason game too. So earlier today, you mentioned that we really have to kind of dive into the depths of Twitter to find information about the WNBA and typically like what the Sky are doing. So I can tell you that I was refreshing Twitter like every 2 seconds trying to get just information about players, say who's got minutes, who's got points. So I was thinking like, why aren't preseason games televised? I've seen so many tweets too saying like, I'm sure Kathy is seeing all of these tweets and like people want to watch these games. So is there some sort of logical reason, like whether it's financial or just from a more organizational standpoint, like why games aren't televised?
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of a reason. Maybe, like you said, it's a financial thing, figuring out where it goes and who's going to cover the cost for that. I'm not sure what that looks like for just simply putting it on League Pass. Actually, I'm sorry. I take that back because Athletes Unlimited did a great job of simply going live on TikTok. The league has social media channels. The Sky have one. All the teams have Twitter, Instagram. I know you can go live on Instagram. You can they did their media on Twitter. We're on Twitter. So you can record and put it on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I don't understand why that's not the case unless maybe the media deals that they already have, like
that's what
ABC
I'm thinking
or ESPN
right.
is like, you can't show this maybe, but boo.
Unless someone has the rights to something, or there's just like some sort of legal thing that's preventing them from streaming games. But yeah, and I do understand that production costs are costly, of course, too.
There are no production costs with somebody putting a laptop that they already have at the end of a table. Or even I would even take it from going in the bleachers. We know that no one's out there because most of these games we can't get to as fans. So you have all this room, all this space. Just stand up there, take your phone, and go like this. We might not be able to see who it is or their jerseys up close, but we can figure it out. I mean, anything honestly is better. I don't care if it looks like a 1998 version of 2K. I want to see what is going on.
Like an NBA Jam type thing going on here.
So I have no clue, and I don't know if this is good or bad about my age. I'm assuming it's bad. I have no clue what that is. I know people have the shirts. You wore the shirt from Breaking Tea. Cool, and that's also on Fanatics. And if you're looking for merch from Fanatics, we can talk about that on Twitter because we have a code that helps grow the game. But got the shirt, so I know that people are aware of what it is. I have no idea what it is. I unfortunately only know like backyard baseball and football and basketball. Like that's the extent of any of my video game knowledge. I've had 2K for years. I didn't get the Candace copy, but I do have 2K and I have no clue how to even turn the game on.
Oh my God.
So
I have my own thoughts and feelings about 2K. So for those of you who don't know this about me, I used to be a librarian. And so I worked specifically with teens who loved playing 2K. They would beg me to pull out the PlayStation, put it in our meeting room, and we'd play 2K. I would get my ass whooped all the dang time. And so to conclude my story from earlier, I'm actually a San Antonio Spurs fan. I'm not like too very open with my fandom. I'm actually like definitely more of a WNBA fan than an MNBA fan. So I would pick the Spurs, and I would pick Duncan, Parker, Ginobili. I would pick that team. And I would still get my butt whooped. Like these kids are very serious about it. But anyway, I have not picked up 2K since then.
That makes me sad that you say that because I remember watching the San Antonio Silver Stars, now the Las Vegas Aces. But
rest in peace.
I know that see. I hate that for you because I really love them, but I'm glad Becky is back. I cannot wait. I'm also trying to get courtside seats for that. So it's going to be hard to like not be media. Like I just have to pick my games very strategically where I'm not media. I'm not there on Grow the Game business. I'm just there as a fan because I will be sitting there with my Becky Hammond jersey and a marker. Like, can you please sign this? Because I'm so happy she's back. She was a fave. Like, I loved her.
I loved her, too. Oh, my goodness. I would go to Spurs games, too, and just kind of watch her next to Coach Pop. Just be like, yes, that's my girl. That's my girl.
Yeah, I love that. I need more WNBA players to start taking coaching roles, primarily because we need more space and a lot of people can just take that next step. So maybe they can pull somebody to replace her and open up a roster spot. I don't know, wishful thinking. But some people disappointed me, though.
Oh, my goodness. Who disappointed you? First of all, how dare they?
Well, first of all, I just forgot. What were we even talking about that we got in this? I feel like we've had like 6 different conversations that just keep going on tangents. So I don't even remember. You started this with why we couldn't watch preseason games.
Why we couldn't watch preseason games.
Well,
So we're talking about, because we're talking earlier, like the good about today's preseason game, the bad about today's preseason game. So I'll start with the good. So the good was definitely Emma Meesseman, like I mentioned before, definitely in midseason form, showing all those leadership skills. Some other good things about today. The Chicago area prospects were really shining too.
Yes, of course, DePaul got some love.
Yeah, Lexi Held from DePaul, and of course, Veronica Burton, who plays for the Wings, also did very well today too. And I believe that Lindsay Pulliam also got some minutes too. I'm not exactly sure what she did, just mainly because we are certainly just grasping for information on what happened today.
I know she got 3 points.
All right, Lindsay. Woo!
Because, 3 points. A few people got 3. Only one person has 0.
Uh-oh. And who is that? Who is the person that got 0?
Unfortunately, the much awaited and anticipated Kaiser had her debut today in her number 4. You all know how I feel about that. In that number, she's the first player to wear the number 4 since Candice Dupree. I guess just maybe luck of people saying, well, I don't have the number 4, so it just never became like a topic because I didn't even really notice it until I had to do research for the Candice interview. But I know we talked about Liz when she went to LA and how she wanted a different number than her old number out of respect for a legend for that franchise. We see, and we talked about before with Kayla and Candice and the whole 3 thing. I just feel like 4 is a number that you just do not touch.
It's a sacred number.
Candice, from our interview, doesn't think that they will retire her jersey. That hurts my feelings. I still think she's wrong. I'm still going to try and get up there and hang it in the rafters myself if I have to, now that I have the jersey. But if you're going to wear a jersey number 4 of a legend of Candice Dupree, who still number 1 in various Sky and WNBA all-time things, you can't put up 0 points. She missed both of her 3-point shot attempts, 1 assist, 0 points, 1 assist, 2 turnovers.
Oof at the 2 turnovers especially. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna need more from her, especially because there's a lot of hype around her, and I mean, as it should be, as the number 4 draft pick.
She was, yeah. I was absolutely mystified when the Fever waived her. Actually, she's got that Adidas shoe deal too.
I mean, I don't know how to say this to be politically correct, but she might want to do a little better before she finds herself in the same boat. Like we said, only so many people can, get those roster spots, and you can't be the only person who doesn't score.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, there is another preseason game. So, yeah,
and when is that again?
That is going to be on April 30th against the Indiana Fever, the team that waived Kaisra.
We have to get in there. That's a very good revenge game, actually, that I would love to see. So what do you think? You think she's going to, maybe that's what it's going to take. Maybe she'll show out.
I think so too. I think, like I said before, she's got plenty to prove to both the Sky and the team that waived her before. So I think this is it. So 5 days from now, you'll see it. The Kaiser Gondrezick revenge game.
Okay, I'm going to call it. I'm going to say she is going to be the leading scorer. I don't know how many points. Maybe like 24. Maybe that's. If they want to be spicy, I would, give her the most minutes.
I'm going to say she'll go in double points, I think. Okay. I feel as at least she'll hit those double points. Right. Speaking of hitting double, the best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use the code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. There is a super awesome Sky shirt that my co-host just got. I am super jealous, and I'm going to buy it myself. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making a more than $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. And if you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll be happy to help you out. Your home for live in-play betting just got even better. Introducing PointsBet's new feature, Live NBA Same Game Parlay, and for the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA game same game parlay, only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. And you want more? Of course you do. You can also boost your live same-game parlay. Watch live, parlay live, and boost live with PointsBet. And now online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet, live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Right. Speaking of living our best lives here, right? So we were talking about things that were good, things that are bad. The bad thing, of course, the Sky lost, obviously, but it is preseason. There's one more preseason game to play, and then, dang, we have the regular season. So that's going to be super exciting. But before we talk a little bit more about that, let us talk about my personal favorite segment of this show, Court of Law. Woo! Yeah. In case you aren't familiar, Court of Law is a segment where we talk about controversial issues. In the WNBA, I read what's on the docket, and Judge Subria rules on her opinion on these said controversial issues. So we have one topic today. Essentially, the New York Liberty is the first WNBA team to get into to NFTs. So this definitely got some mixed reactions from WNBA fans. There are ways to grow the game, and then there's this. So not to get my
Well, I mean, no one's gonna grow the game.
Of course,
let's
yeah.
just that needs to be a disclaimer whenever we say grow the game. We didn't have anything to do with this because, like you said, this is not how you. Yeah, okay. I'll let you finish your thoughts, and then I'll tell you how they really could have grown the game, and maybe we can work something out with Grow the Game, and we can really do it together. But you can go ahead.
Absolutely. So I have, not to get too much into my personal opinions about NFTs, but yeah, fundamental to a lot of shortcomings. NFTs don't really contain digital artwork. Instead, they're just essentially links. They're bad for the environment. Most NFTs are bought and sold with Ethereum, and that's a cryptocurrency that guzzles up energy and pumps out a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. And perhaps the big thing that a lot of people will say that NFTs might be a little bit scammy is that they don't necessarily give you any level of ownership over the digital item that you're buying. So essentially, it's a self-referential thingamajig that declares you own the thingamajig that you say that you own. So you're not necessarily giving artists just solid ownership over their creations. Essentially, this is kind of another method of exploiting creative professionals. But of course, too, this seems to be the big hot thing recently. And yeah, if this is a way to engage with fans, I don't know. Is it really, though? Is it really? I don't know.
I mean, we were just talking about this. I have no clue what NFT stands for, let alone what it does.
It is non-fungible tokens for those of you who don't know.
I would absolutely never say that. But I just don't understand them. I mean, like I asked in the meeting, I'm like, why is this not just a picture and a video? I mean, we can screen record. I screen record things I can't actually save all the time. So I'm not really sure what this is about. I mean, I know they had like Asia Wilson and a few others on the Top Shot wave, and I know that they have those moments for them, and that's a really cool thing. And it was so many people in there. I tried once, again, didn't know what I was doing, not a single clue, definitely not spending money on it. That's just me. But I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. But there will be like 3,000 people in a queue. I mean, that really like 33,000 people in a queue, and there's like one of 174. Like, okay, well, clearly everybody in here isn't going to get it. So I don't really understand. I think fans have been calling for things and merch just forever. So I'm not really sure if this is exactly what we meant. But, I mean, last season, WNBA Twitter went in an uproar because ColourPop and the NBA announced a collaboration.
I remember that, yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out, and the outrage that was expressed where, you know, fans are like, we would love to give you all our money. Why would you do this for the NBA and not the WNBA? I mean, hello, women makeup. Like, I just really don't understand that. But after that, and you have people saying, like, give us stuff, we want to buy it. They could have came out with real nail polish. I mean, it seems like this is their theme, because when they did the video announcing the season, maybe they used nails. And I remember they had Ari in there and Benajelani and some other people, but it was like in a nail shop, and they got the other teams designed on their nails. So this is keeping, you know, up with the theme, but I would have much rather preferred nail polish and everybody, you know, engaging that way. Okay, you get a color of your favorite team, or even who could get the best nail design. Someone did that on Twitter. I can't remember who it is, but it was like, she was like, when you have a wedding at 4, but you have, who played yesterday? Memphis. Was that yesterday? I don't even remember, all the days run together. But she was like, when you have a wedding at 4 and the Memphis play at like 7 or whatever time they actually played, she had Memphis Grizzly nails.
Oh,
and I thought that
That's
was
cool
really cool.
Yeah.
Hello. Somebody listen, please. I think even a campaign of who can get the best nails. Rep your team using our colors or our polish. That you could have gotten nail, like actual people who design nails, sent out kits of the color in each market. I mean, obviously I'm not talking about the Liberty anymore, because they wouldn't be sending it out for other markets, but I mean, that could be a step, and just sending it to like big name or even smaller nail artists in New York. Send them whatever color scheme you want that matches the Liberty, and see who comes up with the best design. You're selling, you're creating engagement, you're shining light on other creators and possibly getting them to be fans, assuming that they're not. They are going to talk about it more in the nail shop, and people are buying. So I just don't understand what I'm supposed to do with this picture.
You are absolutely right on the money. And yeah, just the fact that, first of all, also no one asked for this. No one asked for this.
We said we wanted makeup and real things, and y'all were like,
we wanted makeup. We wanted actual like nail art. And I don't know. I was pretty close to just like getting the Golden State Warriors palette and rebranding it as the Sky palette. I was this close to doing that, actually. I didn't do that though. But.
I mean, I don't want to say too much. Especially infringe on any intellectual property, but I have a really close friend who actually has her own makeup line, and when I saw this nail polish, I instantly texted her. I said, look, we got to have a conversation, because what we want to happen is not happening. So we're in conversations of some palettes of some certain colors, and I'll just leave it at that. Like, I'm clearly the person is like, okay, I'm telling you what I want. I give you like a year to do it. And if you don't do it, I'm just going to do it myself. Sorry.
I also just think too, like, especially if you're talking about cosmetics, it really makes sense to have content creators who like just work very closely with these teams come in and choose the colors, choose the names of the colors. I feel as if that just makes so much sense. So ColourPop, if you really want to make a WNBA line.
Nope. You missed your beat. Sorry. I don't even know who else. I don't even wear makeup enough to really know who else. Who else is a makeup thing?
Dang.
NYX.
Oh yeah, NYX. Yeah, NYX is a thing.
I don't know. Okay, well, if you got eyeshadows, let's get into it. You can do it, but no, ColourPop and the New York Liberty can go. I'm holding them both in contempt. I'm holding them both in contempt for an NBA eyeshadow palette and an NFT of nail polish that I actually want in real life.
Right. Judge Whitaker has ruled that you are both in contempt.
Yes.
That concludes Court of Law. So a couple of housekeeping items before we wrap up today's show. Like we mentioned before, the first game of the regular season is on May 6th. That's going to be a double revenge game versus the Los Angeles Sparks. So you can purchase. Is Grow the Game still giving out discounted tickets?
Yes, giving out discounted tickets all season long. The end date is something crazy like October. Where it tells me on Ticketmaster like when it begins and when it ends. So anybody that wants discounted tickets, you can go to www.growthegamew.com, click right on the banner that says tickets, and it will take you directly to a secure Ticketmaster site where any tickets purchased on that page, a portion of it will go to Grow the Game, so we can continue to actually grow the game. And if anyone listening wants to bring a family out, they have a special occasion, a birthday or a group, let me know. And you can email us at tickets@growthegamew.com. Happy to talk all of that with you and hope to get more people out.
Heck yeah. Bring the friends, bring the family out. Just don't ask who's all going to be there like I typically would. Just come out. Just come out.
Somebody did that, though. I had a friend I invited when we were doing groups last year from high school, and she said who else was going to be there.
Was that me? Was that the person that said no?
So, yeah, I can't tell you who all is going to be there, but everybody should just be there. Come out to the Sky Games. Keep looking forward to great content, video content, this podcast, written content, and make sure you're following all of the social medias.
Yes, follow all the social medias. Follow CHGO Sky. It is CHGO_Sky. You can follow me at Scuriosa, and you can follow my co-host at Subria Whitaker. But anyway, our next show is going to be our last before the season begins. So yes. I'm sure we're probably going to see some roster cuts just as soon as next week, and I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about as the regular season draws closer. But anyway, I am so excited. How about you? Are you excited?
Super excited. I ordered my outfit for the
God.
I ordered my outfit for the game. It came in the mail before I left the house to come here. I tried it on. It's cute. I'm gonna be cute. Getting my hair done. Just look. I'll be serving looks and growing the game all at the same time. Very excited.
Looks will be served, guaranteed. Anyway, from Chicago, from the CHGO studios, we are signing off here. We'll see you next week.
Sky and 4.
Sky and 4.